ties to the victim. Yeah, I loaned Elg cash, about $100,000. That day, he was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. You got lucky, you know? Real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elg was $50,000. Yeah, well, you've got to... Got the VIG? Okay. You've got the VIG to take into account. Alright. Interest builds up fast, you know. That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, we ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? Yeah, we have to prove that he needed money at this point, don't we? Like, that he really, really needed money because of the whole, Cadaverini issue. Ties to the victim. Yeah, I loaned Elg cash about $100,000. That day, we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date C. So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know? Real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. So the tiger was meeting Glenn Elg to get his money back. If Mr. Elg had just given him the lottery ticket, it would have been the end of it. Yeah, so what's the tiger's motive? This is the big one. If I don't manage to undermine this testimony, it's all over for us. Why would he have to poison Mr. Elg? And why did he loan him the money in the first place, when he knew he couldn't repay him? Yeah, I loaned Elg cash about $100,000. Did he have any way of paying the loan back? The fool was a gambler. He said he couldn't give up until he landed it big. And so I agreed to help him. Help him? You? I kept hitting him with ideas for ways he could get a big win. And the guy kept losing. So you were helping him for his sake? Or yours? Win through compromise. You help me, I help yous. What's the difference, eh? I don't believe this. Nick, would anyone really ever loan money to someone they thought was unreliable? Like, for example, if it were you, I'd only loan you $5 max. Thanks a lot, Maya. That day, we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, C. So how much were you expecting him to pay you back on that day? What do you think? The whole package, $100,000 including interest. That's a real heavyweight punch. Once a client misses a repayment, you call the whole loan in. You want to make it in my world, that's all you gotta know. How many times has Mr. Elg been late with his repayments? Once. How much was he supposed to pay back every month? $50. Sounds like Mr. Elg was in a real sticky spot. Yeah, $50 a month, he'd never pay that huge loan off. Anyway, tells me he's got no way to pay up. How much did he have left on his debt? You want it in round figures? About $100,000. That's the whole amount. We're talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet. What? He was telling me he wasn't even gonna pay for the coffee. Probably not, no. He certainly seems to have been a brave man, this Mr. Elg. That guy was smooth, I tells you. real smooth. You'll have your money in less than 5 minutes. That's what he says to me. The guy then calls me the Tinder Tiger. He was skating on thin ice with me. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Was that because the guy won the lottery? Was his last chance at a big win? And you can confirm that. This is the ticket in question. That's it. The Millionaire Radio Show starts at 1:30 p.m. and runs for 10 minutes. It fixes the time you two met with some accuracy. And the whole scene was acted out again 30 minutes later. Also that Mr. Kudo would see it. I can still see the kid's face now. They're never gonna forget it. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know, real lucky. Was there anyone else in the restaurant at the time? I don't remember. There was no one there. I wore that ridiculous tiger shirt for a month. Mr. Armstrong, Maggie, and if I'm right, Viola Cadaverini were all there at the time. So the victim had intended to repay you from his lottery winnings from the beginning. Seems that way to me. But you wouldn't normally expect to win the lottery, would you? Huh. The undying belief that your next roll will end the worst losing streak you ever had. And that's what defines a true gambler. It makes it sound so cool. Don't be tempted, Nick. I haven't got the willpower for it. All I know is the kid took a shot, and he got lucky in the end. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. The waitress? You mean? The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't got in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with. What exactly do you mean by that, though? Maybe I should push a little on this. Yeah. You know, that's how things would have been. It's like, what do you mean they would have been done with? Like, that's a motive there, right? What do you mean things would have been over and done with? He was all there, or what? I'm talking about the cash. But he had no cash, so what were you going to do? I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Yeah, but what would he have done if he didn't win the lottery? That's why I'm pushing him here. Like, what would he have done? Witness, you'll amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. The tiger's motive, huh? I was after the 100,000. Didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. See, now we got an extra bit. Are you saying you had no other motives that day? Thank you. Yes, so what? Then, why didn't you take the lottery ticket when you left? Why do you think? Because of Four Eyes over there. Because of Maggie. How about you go ask Four Eyes about that $500,000 ticket? She wanted it so bad. She poisoned Elk's coffee. A likely theory. Your word hasn't held water lately, Mr. Tigre. Objection! Let's not forget this witness was actually at the scene, Trite. The law don't exactly agree with some of the deals I send down. I couldn't be there when the cop showed up, so I split. I see. Your Honor, the witness's last few statements are worth a good 2 cups of coffee. Completely useless and pointless, and no one wants them. Well, Mr. Wright, are you happy with the testimony, or would you like it amended? Have it amended? I'm just thinking, like, we could then, like, how it is, we could present stuff, couldn't we? Or do I want to push the have it amended? I doubt that's going to come up. I mean, we're not proved the fact like he pretended to be Phoenix, essentially. And the only thing we can really pursue at this point, really, is that, because it's potentially worth millions of dollars. That would, again, we're trying to prove the fact that he would need the money because of the situation with her and him. So I'm gonna leave it. Better leave it at that and try to figure something out. Thank you, Your Honor, but there is no need to amend the testimony. Very well. Continue with your cross-examination, then. So the tiger was meeting Glen Elg to get his money back. Mr. Elg had just given him a lottery ticket. That would have been the end of it. Yeah, so what's the tiger's motive? This is the big one. If I don't manage to undermine the testimony, it's all over for us. Why would he have to poison Mr. Elg? And why did he loan him the money in the first place, when he knew he couldn't repay him? It's gotta be at this point, it's gotta be. I mean, I've tried the CD previously, it's like, it's gotta be at this point that we do the CD. Because that's gotta come up. It's been so important in the background for a while now, and it's very, 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 very valuable to him. Because, I mean, that has to come up as well. It's $500,000 again. Yeah, it has... He doesn't want the 100,000. He needs the million. And any more than that would be great. So it's got to be that, because he needs the money now, not later. So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elg owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after.
Objection!
Are you getting at, trite? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money. Money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. Computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of this honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. So several $1 million? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glen Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glen Elg was a programmer. A highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money.
Objection!
You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get hold of that program. Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, trite. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. And it's also that case of like, yeah, he intended to get that money from Glen Elg right there, right then, by getting the virus. And being like, and yeah, your debt's repaid, there you go, you're done. Thank you very much for the virus, we're all good here. Lovely jubbly, goodbye. But then he won the lottery and everything screwed up his plans. But what if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tigray need money to the tune of $1 million? Viola's medical papers. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter, in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital, where she underwent surgery. How much do you know? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet, when the repayment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs. Yes. No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. Mr. Tigray had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Oh, there's quite a loud roar. Order! 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 You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright. Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city and a doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Betray! Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire that $1 million Bruto Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elg's life to pay your debt. Oh, how dare he. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigray's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigray knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigray would prefer to say never happened. But he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigray with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means. It's crazy. He murdered Glen Elg and then made his next move to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigray posed as Glen Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Mrs. Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Objection!
Like I said, Trite, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it.
Objection!
Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigray's plan. No, it makes sense. Yes. Order, order. Silence or... You just put on a good show, Spiky. If you just want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone. If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. Pegged being Phoenix. What? Another one, Mr. Wright. Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? What was this trick you say Mr. Tigray performed? The accused. I mean, it's got to be at this point, because it's like I was saying, it's like it's not come up yet. What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. You were. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigray, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here, this very court, a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I had ever seen. Oh yes, I remember, I was there. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him? Hey, forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that, not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? Have you no pride, sir?
Objection!
This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, here in court we deal with people's lives. Mr. Godot is right. Your Honor? Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now, however. I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No. It's got to be that small bottle. Come on, Gumshoe. If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigray are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've come so far. You say he impersonated Glenn Elg. You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. So where's Gumshoe? Yeah? Huh. Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get mauled, you got that? What I managed to do here was chase him around a bit, but I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. Good. I just had one more piece of evidence. Gumshoe, come on! One more piece of evidence and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. This witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigray. Bye. It's gotta be him. It's gotta be. Your Honor, sir. There he is. Wait! The detective? Detective Gumshoe. Sorry I took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. What is it, detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final, decisive piece of evidence. What? No. January 8th, 2:48 p.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby. Number 1. Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle. Oh, so? Do you know who the prints belong to? Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So? Tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it! You bet. Ah, good, Mr. Gumshoe. Mr. Gumshoe? Never called him that before. Clear as crystal all over the bottle. And the Furio Tigre's paw prints, alright. It's great. We've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? Hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but... it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. What? Huh? What? Why not? We need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glenn Elk's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great, no matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie. It's gotta help somehow, right? And I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Detective Gumshoe. Maggie. You've been working on something for me. Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your way. Detective Gumshoe, wait. He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Small bottle put into pocket. How can we use it? It depends what they say, I suppose. January 8th, 3:04 PM, District Court, courtroom number 4. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you discovered. Yes? Don't keep us all in suspense, Trite. Show us. Naturally, we can assume its evidence will actually stand up in court. Can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of this time are you gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. These lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. Maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court. Alright. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's... Your Honor? Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We've clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. What? But, Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this court should theoretically be in the dark. My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle. Is that what you're saying? Well, what the hell is in it anyway? Ah. Phony trial, a phony lawyer, and a phony clues. We're gonna lie, aren't we? Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. But you could really get in trouble, Phoenix. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains... Mr. Armstrong's oils. Are we really gonna say that? I mean, like, everything was leading to that, so... But if you're found... Like, everyone knows Phoenix. Everyone. Apart from him. Yeah, we'll catch him out, but... They'll know you're lying. That's a gamble. This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You'd make a good clown, you know that? What? This ain't never gonna get this to stick. He's just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No, no. This is the bottle we found traces of poison in. Now push him on that. How does he know which bottle does have cyanide in, Phoenix? Don't mess with the tiger. You're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown. It was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. Yeah, even Godot's like, oh, crap. Yep. Got him. At last. What? Why is everyone gone quiet? Said that bottle. Is this the bottle you were referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But yous ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy-looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out. Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. You really had nothing to do with the murder. You shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. Just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. Just don't know who you're messing with. I'm the tiger. Control millions of dollars on the black market. Just think I'm gonna let some jumped-up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. That's just what you deserve. A phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, biggest phony of all. Oh, he's gone. That was a hell of a gamble, Phoenix. I mean, he had to do something, sure, but still. What's going on? It looks like a blackout. Well done, Trite. You blew out the lights. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Yay. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Is he okay? Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tigre, Miss Godot? He is being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glenn Elg, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was, so she deserves some compensation here. And in the absence of genuine evidence, but the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Guerrero Tigre is a truly frightening criminal. Huh. A truly frightening one. Is that defense attorney over there? Godot. Well, I am now in position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant Maggie Bird not guilty. Oh, well, that's quite lovely, yes. Whoop and all that, yes. That is all. This court is adjourned. January 8th, 4:10 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, Number 1. Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all the trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him. I'd want compensation, to be honest. That's a month of your life wasted. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick. In the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, I guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait! Detective Gumshoe. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony, then? Huh? Oh, well... I was... Well, I guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. Just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got this medication bottle. That wasn't even of any use. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put it in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Myra's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie. You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this. I want to believe that, sir. On the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. The lunchbox. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Of course! The sports paper! There you are.
Take that!
Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present for Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies, you know? Oh my. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know? Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this now? Aww. Maya's face. So how is it, Maggie? It's really good. You got a chance, Gumshoe, you got a chance. So the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows, maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Hope we get to see if that does progress, because I'd be interested. Episode 3, Recipe for Turnabout, the end. Oh, hello. It's with the bridge and that someone with a gun and stuff. Oh my. But yeah, we're obviously going to end this part here, and in the next part we'll do episode 4, Turnabout Beginnings. Interesting. Like he's dressed differently. Has he upgraded his costume? I do like the waistcoat. It's very, very nice. Very, very nice. But yeah, so episode 3, Recipe for Turnabout. It's like, I did enjoy that, to be honest. There's a few sort of like, things that I'd want to get into, really. But it's like the whole sort of like trying to prove it was staged, the motive behind the real killing as opposed to the one that Victor saw and all that type of stuff. I really, really did enjoy that aspect. It was really, really cool. But I was then going to go on and actually talk about Armstrong and all the like strangeness around like his gender and his personality and all that type of stuff and how odd it was at times, but did actually go look up some information about Armstrong on the internet in regards to like the translation. And someone from the translation team has actually spoken about that. So if you want to like go look that up, I'll put a link down in the description to that, and also put in the comments the piece about Armstrong himself. So that's probably for the best. And at that point, I was done talking about what I wanted to talk about. I've just added this bit after because new evidence came to light is the best way of putting it. That's the best way of putting it. So yeah, we'll see you in the next part of episode 4, Turnabout Beginnings. Ta-da for now.